Tesla has once again proved to Wall Street it is the little electric engine that could.
Yeah, Tesla shares are on the rise after the electric car company announced it made more than $3 billion in profit just in the first quarter of this year, registering $18.7 billion in revenue. Tesla's profits are up more than $2 billion from last year's numbers, and the company's total revenue has increased by more than $8 billion from what it was just a year ago.
However, Tesla CEO Elon Musk is facing some obstacles this coming year. The company expects its factories to run below capacity for the remainder of 2022 as it grapples with problems including material shortages and COVID-19 related issues. Dan, welcome. Great to have you with us. So Tesla's earnings are well above investor expectations. What is the company doing right?
Look, I mean, this is really with their back against the wall, given what with the COVID issues in China. And I think what we're really seeing play out is they're flexing their muscles from a distribution perspective. Of course, about 2 million vehicles, we believe, in terms of what demand is. They're going to be able to basically supply about 1.5 million of those. Take a step back relative to dark days in the auto industry. Tesla's almost Teflon-like relative to what we're seeing. That's why the street likes what they saw last night.
Dan, I think it's an understatement to say that Elon Musk has had some success with Tesla. How has he and the company been able to navigate supply chain issues, economic downturns, the things that have hurt so many other companies?
Well, I think first off, they were able to secure supply. I mean, they're at the front of the line. They're not waiting like other automakers. And when it comes to EV and the EV landscape, it's really been Tesla's world. Everyone else is paying rent. And you see that play out in the demand environment. Look at Netflix and others that have raised prices and saw a churn. Instead, Tesla's raising prices, demand's actually increased. And that's the key here. In terms of what the street's really looking at, they don't value Tesla, and we never have, as an auto company. We value it as a disruptive technology player. In our opinion, that's the best way to view Tesla.
Really interesting. All right. So, as we did mention at the top there are some speed bumps on the horizon for Tesla. Why is production slowing down? Is it all about those factories in Shanghai getting shut down due to COVID, or are there more issues at play?
Yeah, it's really all about China, because if you look, Berlin has now ramped up, so is Austin. That's going to give them significant capacity going into the rest of this year in 2023. But the hearts and lungs of the Tesla production story are China. And the zero COVID issues, that's about 60,000 cars that got lost with 3 weeks of production basically not online. But the one thing from last night, Musk talked about a ramping factory quickly in Shanghai. That's important, not just for Tesla, but broader tech. I think we're going to see similar things from Apple next week when they report. So far, the supply chain incrementally improving, and that's something I think that the street's really focused on.
Well, it's nearly impossible to mention Elon Musk these days without mentioning Twitter. So how might his recently announced takeover bid of the social media giant potentially impact Tesla's profitability?
Yeah, look, I think there's a perception reality. The perception, I think, at first was he was going to sell stock in terms of Tesla, and that was an overhang. Realistically, and I think it's come out with a tender offer, the way he's going to finance it would really be collateralizing Tesla stock, won't be selling it. So I do think there's going to be some worries about, can he balance his time? Can he ultimately run Twitter, Tesla, and SpaceX? The reality is he's not going to run Twitter if he ultimately gets it. He'll be a chairman. But I think this is still a game of high-stakes poker playing out on the Twitter front. It's a soap opera that's probably going to play out for the coming months. Now it comes down to the board. But I really view them as mutually exclusive. I don't view the Twitter situation as disrupting Tesla. And I think last night was a perfect example of it, in terms of how they're navigating, in just unprecedented fashion.
A lot at stake there for Tesla.
The street certainly seems to be able to keep those two issues separate.
Yeah, for now.
All right.
Dan Ives, thank you very much.